Okay, now it says it's preparing a live stream on YouTube, so I think I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, have a good night.
Sorry about that.
No, bye. What's that?
Alright, you ready?
Go.
Alright, Parks and Recreation Commission, Town of Georgetown, regular scheduled meeting, February 5th, 2026. Notice of agenda and regular meeting, town hall will be open to the public for this meeting, there is an option to join virtually. If you'd like to leave a comment, please call 303-569-2555 extension 2, or email townclerk@townofgeorgetown.us, and we will give you details regarding the meeting. Call to order. Chairman Christian Wellbaum here, Vice Chairman Tom Paxton here, members Nick Mandetto
Here.
Daniel Owen. Jessica. How do you pronounce that?
You can just say A, but it's Arhan Trulis.
Arhan Tulis,
It's like
Jessica Arhan
It's
Tulis,
pretty phonetic if you just spell it out. Arhan.
Lexi Berger. Rob Connell,
Here.
Kevin Gregory, here. Alright, agenda approval, is there anything anyone would like to add on the agenda that is not already on the agenda? Minutes approval.
Motion.
You need a motion to adjourn. I'll make up a motion to approve the agenda dated February 5th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, the minutes approval. Um,
Maybe I'll just say really quick, we kind of get tripped up on this every time. I think we have a Google Drive. In the minutes go in the Google Drive, so we can like review them ahead of time to approve, if that's okay. Does that work?
No,
No.
I'm sorry, it has to be official through this process, so. We do have to have them in the packet and they have to be then in front of you so that you can.
Okay.
If we can't have that available to you, we can do it in addition to that, but we have to have control. There will be a Google Drive that we're found with there.
So we have to have them printed here and then approve them in this meeting. That's the process. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So the minutes approval for 12/4/25, we don't have that.
I'll make a motion to table that for the next meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Audience business, members of the audience will have 5 minutes to present any matter of interest related to the town not already on the agenda. No official action may be taken at this time. Does anyone in the audience have anything they would like to discuss? Or just here to observe?
Just you.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. All right, well, new business, park signage. So for the update on the park signage there, we have contacted Chase Fabrications, or at least BPC has contacted Chase Fabrications, who is in contract with doing the Georgetown sign. And I have been in contact with him back and forth with email over the last couple of months. Not recently, because we need to come up with a specific design, size, width, everything for those signs. For him to give detailed bids for those signs and what we want the sign name to be on, if it's going to be on the sign itself that is able to be removed and fixed if needed, or if it's something that's permanent on the structure. If we do like actual, like a rock foundation or something at the bottom, like it was shown in our previous designs, or something to go like a little bit cheaper, but just as nice. They just have to keep in mind the budget that we have for the signs.
Yeah, did the BPC, right? Was it BPC or the DRC, did they approve the look of the?
I took it to the BPC and the BPC approved the design that I brought to them. I
Okay,
was just told further to bring that to the DRC, but before going to the DRC, we want all the dimensions, material, everything that's going to be going into that.
the big archway sign also is like, it's all kind of,
It's in contract right now.
that's in contract, so we know that's gonna happen. for
That is,
sure.
yes.
Okay,
It's in contract for the design.
for the design,
That'll be the easy part.
okay,
And then when the design is ready, then that'll go to the DRC. And the DRC is usually a 2-meeting process because the first meeting is fleshing out some of the questions or things that have to be changed. And then we go back, we change them, we come back and the DRC gives final approval.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool. I just want to make sure, like, I know we went into this thinking like, hey, we're gonna make signs that match that style, so I want to make sure that we're still cohesive.
Yeah, I believe like with the beams going up and across that are gonna be actually holding the sign are gonna be really relative to what's going up for the archway sign. It's gonna kind of be that steel beam structure or that steel beam I-beam look. But depending on like if it's going to be like an actual I-beam or if he has to custom fabricate something together for those signs. The height of all the signs, I don't know how tall we want all of these to be. If the sign, like, one of the ideas I had projected was the name going on the beam itself of the park. And then the amenities being on the sign, and if anything gets damaged or anything, we can replace that sign and take or remove amenities. Any updates going up on the park or anything, and we just need to decide whether it goes on the sign itself, or with the amenities, or all that good stuff.
I think the most expedited process for this would probably be for this project to wait until the big sign gets its comments from DRC. Because if that's gonna be the problematic one. Keep in mind that this is not the normal thing. This isn't like putting a house up or building a commercial building. This is way outside the normal scope of what the DRC is doing, so I'm guessing it's gonna take a couple of back and forths to get it right. And so there's no need for this group to waste time by going ahead and then having to come back and change many things. So I would guess that the DRC would go with the big sign, and then this sign can go right the next meeting with the DRC and follow suit, knowing what some of the comments were with the big sign. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And we have, I think we'll talk about it in a minute when we get to the CIP, but I think the CIP has $50,000 to spend on the sign project this year, and the board of selectmen decided to phase it over 3 years, so there's 50. So you're gonna be able to get a pretty good start on actual construction. That's the only cost that you have right now that we're looking at for the park, the sign design is $250. So you're gonna have most of that $50,000 to get started on actually building some signs this year.
Right,
I mean, does it make sense though with the DRC process to say, hey, this is the big sign, but we are looking, like, kind of let them know that this is coming too, right? We should make sure they're aware of that so that they kind of take the big picture.
Absolutely.
of course,
You know, it's not,
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not sure how we do that, but just want to make sure it's,
right,
yeah, like, we don't wait too long after, right?
Yeah, I would, it's not a bad idea that somebody from this group attend that first DRC meeting with the big sign. Just to see and hear what they have to say, but also, make those kind of comments, that's a good idea.
do you know if Chase or anyone from Chase Fabrications is gonna be there for the meeting to get
Oh, I'm
detail
sure
on
there
it?
will be, Andrew is gonna have to present
Right.
design.
If Andrew's gonna be a part of that, then I will volunteer myself to be at that meeting.
And all of you can go if you want, it's not,
Okay.
there's nothing.
Right, if anyone else is busy, I'll be there for her.
Their next meeting got canceled, so next DRC is gonna be February 26th. Do you think that's something?
Maybe, and Andrew has been working on this for a while now, he's not close to being done yet, I don't think. So February 10th or February 12th will
Is
be
it canceled?
pushing it.
No, that one's canceled.
And it got canceled, so we probably can get the second meeting, hopefully.
Can you guys let us know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just let us know so we can make sure something's there.
Is that here at 6 o'clock?
Yeah, it's the second, fourth Monday, Thursday? Is that what it is?
It's the second and fourth, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, and I will be in contact with Andrew through Chase as well for anything, any kind of design ideas or input that he'll have on these little signs that we're making for all the parks everywhere. Hopefully, we don't wanna put too much on his plate if he's still working on the process for this right now, but. If we wanna come in and right behind that, then we should get on top of it, I guess. So does anyone have any input they wanna put towards those, and names on the sign, on the structure itself? Height, width of the signs?
National.
I mean, I think there's some real tie-ins to materials and costs, but I think if we just kind of start with like a general idea, right? Should a cantilever sign be about as tall as a person, or should it be half that height? I don't know.
I was thinking about like the height of someone, maybe if you had like a little small, like the rock foundation or something at the bottom of it and something coming up a few feet at like 6 feet tall with a sign hanging down, like from at least 6 to 5 feet, and no one's like looking up or looking down at a sign. You're right there in front of them.
That gives us
So
an
do
idea.
the tall people.
Who's hired?
Yeah. This guy and dad. Yeah.
It's about, we put them about 6 feet, then it's gonna be like
What, 4 feet
big enough
across or
to
3 feet across, something like that?
survive. You make it too small, it'll get crushed or something, yeah, so
Right.
get buried in the snow.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe someday,
So, yeah,
not this year.
not this year.
Right. But yeah, just, more of that combination of what, the materials that you guys like put together. But more or less just something that's wind friendly,
Of course,
yeah.
yeah.
The name of the particular park, that ought to be probably like, die cut.
Right, that's what I was thinking, like maybe either on the structure and not the sign.
Right now.
Cause if the sign gets damaged or, wind does do something to it, we can replace that and still have the park name hanging up if we need to. To have that established.
But yeah, just make them, so that they're, I guess, I've always seen that, the carabiners on those real big eye hooks, those have been really successful. Just been-
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you said they have been successful?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Okay.
as long as they're anchored, well, I mean, that's all you need.
And one of the, I think the idea that I presented to the BPC was that it didn't swing from the wind, so nothing was just dangling.
Right.
And there's some kind of cross
It
member.
might
or
rattle,
plate
but
that
you want it to
falls into.
move so that it doesn't, I mean, I guess you don't want it to make noise, but you do definitely want to give it some give,
A little, yeah.
Wind around here can be pretty harsh.
It can be. Definitely. All right, well, does anyone else have anything they wanna add to the signage?
I'm just really interested in seeing what materials we can get within our budget.
And that's something I'll be talking with Andrew about. I just recently sent him an email, just waiting to hear back from him. I probably did, I just gotta check my email. And I'll get together with him and see what he has ideas for, or material wise that he has that we can use or something he can get for us. And I'll bring that to the next meeting.
Again, it's all predicated on DRC,
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, there's like a lot.
We're just. It's great to talk about
yeah. All right, well then moving on to the skating rink update.
So. The skating rinks are up, but they're melting as we speak,
Mhm.
so it's been a hassle this year. They're normally up and running by Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
so. Weather didn't permit that.
it's supposed to be warm the rest of this week
They're
too.
melting,
Yeah,
so during the night to about,
Are they gonna refreeze or do we already like spend it melts?
well, it's not supposed to refreeze until end of next week.
Yeah.
yeah, and then you have
We'll
that.
have to see what happens.
Again,
Yeah,
so we'll see.
it might not. I was gonna add water to them today, but it was too warm.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been good.
steady the lifeguard stand.
That's smart. Well, that's shit happens, so. That's the update on those rings.
All right, yeah, melting and
Looks cool, it's cool.
the idea of the bottom, thing it there, that's I love that. I mean,
Yes.
Gotta tell you, having an ice rink in this neck of the woods is pretty, I'm glad that we have like an effort to have one, but. I wonder what it would be like to just have something permanent, but there's no place to put it.
Yeah. Or not.
Anyway.
The gym. The configuration.
Cold air inside. All right, moving on, Clear Creek Trail Collaborative IGA.
Okay, so in your packets, the intergovernmental agreement is printed here. I can kind of speak to this at a very high level, but it's, Georgetown Parks and Rec. I don't know if you guys remember when that lady joined and I volunteered to be part of the collaborative, because a portion of Clear Creek Trail runs through Georgetown. I think that they just have some new members, and so it's an agreement that we're all coming together They asked that we review it, and if you had any edits, to let them know. And to approve it, basically. I don't know if,
No, that's the normal process.
Yeah.
It starts here. The town has been a part of the collaborative in the past. So it's not like these agreements are gonna be brand new or, something that takes a long time. But if there are changes, then this group can talk about those changes and then continued membership on that group is what this group would basically vote on and recommend to the board to approve. And we run it through the town attorney already. He hasn't
Oh, great.
raised any red flags or anything like that.
okay, that's good to know. I will say, the first meeting that I'm going to be attending is like in a week or two, so still kind of like new to being a member, like representing the commission and then also being part of the collaborative, but they just asked me to bring it to the group and see if we could get it approved.
And then I also might add that if you're not aware, you were appointed by the board of selectmen to be the town's representative on that group.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
that's quite an honor, burden. I mean.
they have 2-hour meetings like in the middle of the day on like Wednesdays, and I'm like, yeah, I'll make that work. So,
So congratulations.
well, it was interesting to look at like everyone that's part of it. You had asked for like names and other governmental people part of the group, so, kind of aligns like what I do for my day job. So I'm actually kind of excited about it, but, yeah. So I don't know if folks like want to review this and then I did tell them we would approve it in this meeting.
But you did you?
Well, I also sent it ahead of time to you guys.
Yes.
I read through it online and it's like. Not
Me
that,
too.
it's not that guy.
A little bit of
Well,
it.
did
That's
you
what I
have-
wondered if there was anything particular different. Than anything we talked about in the past or anything that we were like gonna be responsible for. Oh. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna read this one about that,
Just a skin,
Yeah, it's kind of wordy.
yeah.
It's just, it's really just kind of an agreement to say, hey, we're gonna work together, try to make decisions together.
Yeah.
And there's virtually no obligations, except please come to the meetings and participate, so.
Yeah.
And then, I was thinking there might be some weird legal, but if our attorneys look at it, I'm not trying to supersede that, I don't know legal, but I did read through it. It seemed pretty
And the
fun.
collaborative already has like a brand guide and things, so they're mostly. I don't know if they're even working on like new-ish projects, like recommendations if anything needs to be new, so. Well, it sounds like some people read through it. Can I make a motion to approve?
Yes.
Motion to approve,
Second, but.
all in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Collaborative approved.
Yeah, there were very few pictures in that.
Kind of like it.
Did you look at the brand guide? There are very few photos.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of pictures.
I mean, even the CIP's got 3 right on the cover.
Yeah.
What was that?
Because I like the idea of knowing what else is going on at Toronto.
Yeah.
Because you'll be able to bring some of that back to us, with other parts of it are doing. so.
Mhm. Yeah. All right, thanks, everyone.
You're welcome, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for. getting
Yeah,
that
no, thank you very much.
And now we're on to the CIP, the capital improvement projects that we have here.
Okay, the CIP was adopted. You have all seen many of the things that have been programmed here, but the board took a step back and then had to consider all the projects being recommended and program them over the years compared to all the others. So I wanted you to have a complete copy of the adopted CIP with this packet here. So you can see even what the other projects are from the road and bridge perspective, the utilities, the facilities, and how the parks have been laid out. And so just to go through the 2026 list, the truck purchase has already been taken care of. And we expect that delivered tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday. But we got the word that all the paperwork's all done and it's ready to be delivered, so you'll have that anytime now, Kevin.
Right on, thanks.
The park signage, we have $50,000 to board decided to split funding for the park signage project over 3 years, so that you can see they went 50-50-50. The skate park itself, we are estimating $2 million for the actual construction. With a $50,000 budget this year to do design work, so that's exciting to get started on the design work. I'm gonna predict right now that it's gonna be over $2 million by the time we get to construction in 27.
We're hoping for matching funds,
Yeah, we're hoping to get some grant money
you know?
from Idaho Springs. Pizza Park, this was actually discussed quite a bit, from the board, because Pizza Park, first question was, where's Pizza Park? And then we all got acclimated to what Pizza Park was. The discussion back and forth was, there's a lot of traffic that's gonna be going by that property, and kids will be playing there. Is that the appropriate place to have a park that has an active, recreational use? And so what their decision was to, do 20, or say 25,000? Yeah, $25,000 is gonna pay for a very simple design work for what's gonna be in that park. So that's gonna come to you, and then you're gonna discuss what you actually want for facilities in that pizza park, and then make that recommendation to the board. And then the same thing also applies to Whirling Park and Greenway Park. Whirling Park, if you remember, was giving it kind of a facelift, but also doing two different dog areas that we were gonna create, the large dog and the small dog area, which I think is a great idea, because from our perspective, we get a lot of complaints from little dogs being picked on by the big dogs.
Which is usually rarely the case.
Actually, I was there when I was skating on the rink, testing the ice, and there was like a dog altercation. Where like people had to leave, and this guy came in with his other dogs, and
Yeah.
it was extremely.
Yeah, and then Greenway Park, we have a pretty good concept of what's gonna go there, so we would start the design and program that for actual construction. Anybody have any questions on the CIP?
As far as like the designing is going, for the last couple of meetings, we had all these designs that we gave the UTEP students and the approval, of their final designs on that already. So how do we get that going after getting those designs approved?
Well, let's just say, I'm not sure that the designs that the group did are, stamp ready. From an engineering perspective, so we're gonna have to do a review of that, and I'm hoping that we don't have to do a lot of work and changing of what they've already done, because it'll save us money that we can devote to the actual construction and building of the
Right.
park. So we just have to have an engineer look it over so that we can make sure it's safe, and the plan for this is actually gonna be doable. The big thing that comes to my mind is stormwater management. And if, for example, Greenway Park doesn't have a proper plan in place for how to handle rainwater when it comes to the park, we could be throwing a lot of money at something that's gonna wash away and then have to be replenished every year, so we wanna make sure that that's designed well enough. And I went back through the plan here for what they had in mind, and it doesn't talk about those types of technical things.
Okay.
Okay, so this is just information only, and then we're gonna bring to you these projects piecemeal, part by part, we get going on the projects, as early as we can, so we can have construction going during the summertime, when it's easiest to do this kind of stuff, okay?
So anytime this month, when it's warm. With warm. Ground is soft, so it's good digging. All right, is that it for the capital improvement things? The code of conduct. This one was an interesting one for me when it popped out. I don't know how many people actually went over the code of conduct. And it's, for me, it's basically an understanding of just how you're supposed to act. Everyone here is a part of this town. Anyone who's on any type of board in Georgetown is pretty much expected to act a certain way, especially social media in public, especially if you're in Georgetown, tourists out and about, or how you handle yourself in certain situations. But particularly, I think one of the issues that came up a couple times was social media, and how some particular members were acting on social media. And, you know, for someone to be part of it, especially a board that decides a lot of things with how the town operates, what we do with that and everything is kind of important, I feel like.
Yeah, it's comes right down to the golden rule, for heaven's sakes.
I believe
If you
so.
don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. And if you don't, do unto others, like you would want them to do unto you.
Well, especially to like other board members of other committees of any. kind.
Just, yeah, be a lot,
Sounds like a framework for being a decent human being here.
Yeah,
But sometimes you forget it.
yeah.
and I get it, some people get, hot-headed about a certain issue.
Yeah.
I am the pot calling the kettle black on that, because, I get excited about things all the time. But
Right,
it's, you gotta be able to take a deep breath, take a step back. Just make sure that, your next steps are character building, not
Right.
character meaning.
Yeah.
So it's a high priority for the board of selectmen to, professionalize the organization. I guess that's the best word to say. And so while all of this that's in this seems pretty self-explanatory and kind of common sense, it's good to have established guidelines so that everybody is on the same page. And heaven forbid that we would have to take any action for somebody who's just not a team player or doesn't understand the expectations here. It has to be, and we all know this, we've all dealt with employers before, right? Set out the expectations, and then if you can't abide by the expectations, that's the foundation for why maybe we would go a different direction with somebody serving on a board or a commission. And even though it is easy for everybody to say, hey, I'm an individual and I get to do what I wanna do. When you're out in public or when you're serving on one of these boards, you are representing the town, whether you wanna believe in that or not. But you're at Mother's on the weekend and something happens there, you're part of the town organization. And so we just wanna make sure that it's all laid out there pretty straightforward. If you are reading through this and we're not asking you to sign out and, commit in blood that you're not gonna violate any of these things, but if you're reading through this and you see something you have a question about, definitely send me an email, okay? Or save it on a notepad and bring it to the next meeting of the park commission, we can talk about it.
Yeah. But yeah, basically just that golden rule. I mean, you're representing something that's big as the town, I believe, on any of the boards, we shouldn't act accordingly.
Don't feel embarrassed there.
I can't help that sometimes.
All day long, but
Like I said, the pot calling the kettle black.
All right, does anyone have any questions? Comments, concerns? All right, and if you do go ahead and go over there and like Dennis was saying, you can go over it again for the next meeting. 2026 fee schedule.
We are, this is my first year doing this, but it's a smart thing to do to update your fees and for your other services in the town annually, so that if the cost to deliver the services, say for preparing park property for weddings or something goes up, then we want to make sure cost recovery is appropriate and fits with that. So this year we did an update of our fees, and it is new to the board to be consistent here. And so while they were talking about this, they asked that we have a work session in February to look at our fees in totality and how they relate to everything else. So they're gonna discuss this a little bit more. If you're interested, please attend the meeting and, throw in your 2 cents. It's gonna be on the 24th. But I wanted to point to the one fee that is impacted here for parks, okay? And that is, if you look down the bullet points on Bridget's memorandum, you'll come to a part that says updated park reservation fee. Does everybody see that part? What's that second bullet point after further staff identified 2 new fees? Okay. Everybody there? So our issue is that we've had more and more requests for organizations to utilize our event parking lot that's out on Argentine. And we didn't have anything in place to actually get any cost recovery from them using it. The more recent one organization was Arbor Works, the tree trimming company that's been working for XL Energy. And so when they first came in, we didn't have a fee structure, so the only thing I was able to do was to barter with them that they would chip that giant pile of brush that has been there forever. Everybody remember that?
Yeah.
So I said to them, if you wanna use it for the next 3 weeks, it's fine, but you have to chip that and remove it. Which saved us a ton of money because it was a big job. So they did that, but while we were having that discussion, we thought we better get our act together on this. And figure out how we're gonna charge them the next time they wanna use it. So the quick fix was to change the park reservation fee to town facilities fee. Which then applies to all of our properties, including all of our parks, this building or the library building if we end up moving in there. And so we just changed the nomenclature so that we could charge for that and we kept the fee $25.
A day,
Yes.
okay, yep, sorry.
Minute.
And then we also have other rules already for how they use the event, the parking area. You're not allowed to have RVs, you're not allowed to stay overnight, you are liable, your insurance is covering any kind of damage that would occur to any of your vehicles, so if anybody had vandalized one of those. Bucket trucks over there, that's on them, not on us, so we already have those in place for anything that we're doing. So I just wanted you to be aware of what was done, and if you wanna be a participant in the discussion with the board, they're gonna talk about that on the 24th at 5 o'clock. Any questions about that?
Is that going to be like a facility lot for people to use like the arbors after or when that whole area is getting redesigned? We had that park idea to put like parkway, like another little miniature skate park or something up there and photos for updating that parking lot into like an actual parking lot
Yeah,
for event parking, so.
I would imagine that if the construction is intensive and they are not gonna be, nobody's gonna be able to utilize that until it's finished.
Right,
Because we have a lot of things that we want to consider, like, electrical outlets for mobile food trucks, and that's gonna take a lot of undergrounding of lines. There's even the talk of having like a shower facility for cyclists to utilize or runners to utilize when there's sprung events. But that has yet to be determined, so it just basically depends on how intense that work's gonna be.
okay, and depending on like events going on in town, if someone is paying that $25 a day to use that parking lot like Arbor Works or something, is that gonna eliminate the parking for event parking, or we're gonna like maybe find an event, but they can't use it for that day so that we can use the parking lot?
That's a good question. What we have done already is the opposite, so if somebody comes in and says we would like to rent a facility, we tell them, no, there's an event planned. Like pond hockey,
Right.
nobody's using that block for the next 3 weeks, right?
Right.
So that's how we would deal with it, and we do the same thing with our parks. So if somebody wants to have a wedding in City Park, for example, but we know that the 4th of July barbecue is gonna happen, they don't get to use it.
Right, okay, awesome. Does anyone have any comments, questions, or things?
Nope.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Staff commissioner reports.
I'm the commissioner. So like I said, the skating rinks are melting, they're melting.
So is the polarized town.
Yeah, it's great, but that's gonna be freezing. And then, we
Right.
had a few problems with the restrooms I've been dealing with. Josh Park had a problem with the pressure tank. From the leak, so we got that replaced. The toilet down there at the lake, it broke. I have that on order, it's 2 weeks out. And I cut down the 3 dead cottonwoods right there by the smoke pit.
Oh, nice.
I cut those down today, they were all in that fence, they were jet. So we cut those down, so the pile is building back up there. We've been parking lot.
Thanks, Kevin.
So there are several trees around town that have fallen, and we're gonna start tending to those next week. And other than that, much it.
Not a lot of snow plowing going on.
Not a lot of snow plowing, and one other thing on the agenda for me to get done is we wanna paint the restrooms down at the lake, they're pretty tagged up now.
Are the plows in good shape?
I only have one plow on that green tractor. I don't have a plow truck.
Oh, we're the bridge, right, that's right.
That's going bridge.
Never
I
mind.
just plow sidewalks.
Are
Great job.
people allowed to be ice fishing on the lake
People are still ice fishing on the lake
I
at their
saw that
own
today.
risk.
at their own
It's
risk?
pretty much at your own risk.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure though that some people have been kicking out ice fishermen in the lagoon area for the pond hockey if the ice freezes.
Is it not frozen?
So I did sink a chainsaw in the lagoon and it had a 16-inch bar on it. So it had to go all the way through to hit water. So it's pretty thick on
On
that
the-
side,
Yeah,
but on the lake side, it's only like 2 or 3 inches.
yeah, I know, I saw people out there.
I know.
They're crazy.
I saw someone skating that on my way to town.
Just fishing and then you look past it.
Yes.
We're gonna have the Charles Darwin fishing tournament.
Mhm. Right.
We also, we met with the fire authority. I don't know if you know, but Chief Babion had retired from the fire authority chief. And now Jeremy is taking over and Daniel Babion is helping him. And we met with them and they volunteered to do regular ice measuring for us because they have a vested interest in, they have to be.
I seen them down there yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're now on a weekly schedule where they're gonna measure, they're gonna drill hole, measure the thickness of the ice and then report to us where they're at. And so I got one yesterday and I think he said that the lagoon is about 10 to 12 inches deep. The ice, but the lakeside is a completely different story.
Yeah,
And so, I don't know if you're aware, but we did initiate a ban on ice fishing
Yeah.
for both the lake and the lagoon. It was partly for safety, but it was mostly because we were worried that the lagoon side was gonna deteriorate with a lot of holes in it. So we wanted it to have a chance to rest and build up before we lifted it. So we lifted it, but everybody who goes out on the lake or the lagoon is doing it at their own risk. And the town is not providing any guidance on, hey, yeah, it's thick, go on out there. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
It's too much of a liability.
I mean, if we start telling them no, when we, in the absence of telling them no, is kind of inherently yes, right? So is there any kind of,
It would be if we didn't have signs posted that is like blaringly says, you're going out there at your own risk and the city has no liability. And we even go one step further and warn people that the emergency response could be significantly delayed and not be able to get out there. A few weeks ago, before Kelly retired, he said to me, Dennis, we have firefighters that are off fighting wildfires right now. And they're not gonna be able to get back here in time to respond to a potential drowning. So I think we're pretty well covered and the legal team that we employ has reviewed all the codes too, because we don't want to get sued. Of course.
Is curling happening at the same time as the tournament?
Not that I know of. I don't know if you know who Carolyn Basalt is.
Yeah.
Carolyn is our local curling connection.
Yeah,
And she's been talking with a group from, I wanna say it's Leadville.
It is, Lynn.
yeah, she came in, I think,
Yeah,
this last meeting.
Right.
yeah,
Yes, I remember. And so she has been talking with them. They could not swing it this year.
oh, okay,
For some reason, the Leadville group couldn't do it,
yeah,
but we're not giving up and we're now prepping for next year. We wanna really jump in with both feet for some kind of curling tournament. We think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Have they ever tried to contact the Stevenson guy? From like Steve, the auto, I mean, he's got a curling center right next to his dealerships.
Where's that at?
definitely.
Down on Route 6,
Yeah,
6 and 7.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, we did a quick, cursory, search online for any kind of other curling clubs. And we came up with 2 or 3 in addition to the Leadville one, but it still was a little too late for us to get moving.
yeah,
They do their tournament schedule way back in the fall.
right.
There's one in Breckenridge too, I think, right, that was pretty popular and they utilize the Breckenridge arena that they've got. these sort of
Stephen
games.
West, yeah, there were a couple Stephen West there.
I think it could be a really cool thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
A moneymaker for businesses downtown. In fact, Alec was here to talk to you about that. He's been following through since he addressed you about that. He's kind of organized and found where he can find used curling stones that aren't, gonna break the bank. So he's moving along on that too. I expect he's gonna be coming back to us some point.
Pretty
cool.
he's motivated, he's got some good ideas.
Yeah.
All right,
Alright.
Anyone have any comments, questions? What we've discussed?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Wait,
Oh.
wait.
You.
You have to.
Yeah.
Oh, me, Not me.
Don't try it out.
Sorry.
Hey, you have something?
So, I have taken a position with the town and I'm gonna be resigning from the board of selectmen. So I won't be here at your next meeting, but somebody else will, and they will not be as entertaining.
You can always be a part of the
Fair,
audience.
fair.
Yeah, congratulations, first of all, and second of all, if we have an open seat, you can still join.
I don't think
I don't
that
think-
town, no, I don't think
Right here,
employee
you have-
would be,
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
some staff.
okay, that would maybe staff.
You could be part of the town.
Oh, I could be
I'm
audience.
sure he will offer his 2 cents.
Then you're gonna have Sergeant at Arms escort me out. It's
Do you
gonna be,
maybe
it's gonna be.
make a motion to accept his resignation now?
Well, thanks for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rob.
Thank you, guys.
It's been awesome.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
You're done,
Now you're
Rob.
good.
You off the board.
I'm gonna kick off.
You're out of here.
Got a big shoe mark on my ass, my pants.
So as your last thing on the board, what would you like to do now?
Ask not what Georgetown can do for you. Ask.
You can all thank me later.
They just gave you the job to kick you out.
Right? It's an elaborate scheme just to get off the board of selectmen.
Wanna make your last motion?
I'll make that motion to adjourn. Yes.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No,
Thanks, Raph.
Congrats, man. Who's buying the shots?